Those security patrol jobs I told you about were mild compared to what came later, a raiding patrol. Again, I was assistant patrol leader. The battalion commander got wind of an enemy tank park in a patch of woods a few miles from our position. I knew something was cooking when the lieutenant and I reported to the old man, who explained the situation. He told us we were to raid a tank park that night. Showed us on a sketch where the tanks were. Told us we'd find them dispersed with sentries guarding them. For a night raid, you have to make special preparation. We found that out before our patrol leader got through giving his instructions. Every man had a job to do, and we made sure each man knew exactly what his job was by having rehearsals. In place of enemy tanks, we used shelter halves, dispersing them just as we expected to find the tanks. We even had imitation enemy sentries. Before going out to raid the dummy tank park, we issued special weapons for night work, left behind all papers and anything that would identify our unit. Next, we were divided into 3 groups. One to burn the tanks, one to kill the crews, and another as the security group. During the rehearsal, we did everything exactly as we intended to do it in the actual raid. When we neared the objective, the patrol halted. The leaders made a reconnaissance of the dummy tank park. Even though it was daylight, we took all the precautions of a night maneuver. Then the patrol leader placed 2 squads beside each other just outside the tank park. Each man was assigned a zone and told the direction in which the patrol would leave when the job was done. I took the other squad with the automatic weapons and went into a position to cover the raiding party from outside the tank park. When everybody was in position, the lieutenant gave the signal to attack. We went straight through and reformed at the rallying point. The lieutenant pointed out errors we had made, and we kept going through it until we had it down pat. Then we were ready for the real thing. Moving at night was a tough proposition. We couldn't use trails or roads for fear of being detected. We struck off cross-country in close formation, keeping to the shadows and away from known enemy positions. Things looked different at night, and if we hadn't used our compasses to keep us on the beam, we wouldn't have known where the hell we were or in what direction we were going. About 3 hours after we left our lines, we neared our objective. After getting into the enemy rear area, we were mighty careful. That took a lot of time, but it was either that or be discovered before we got to the tank park. The lieutenant left me in charge of the patrol while he and the squad leaders went on a reconnaissance to look over the enemy layout. They carefully noted the positions of sentries. It's a darn good thing a reconnaissance was made. We'd have been in a hell of a mess charging right through into this pond out in the rear. The reconnaissance party completely circled the park and noted the dispersion of the tanks. Then the platoon leader rejoined the patrol, and we moved around to a position so the plan of attack would be the same as our dry run, straight through the tank park with a pond on our right. Men were detailed to take care of the sentries. Every man knew what to do and the direction to the rallying point. The bayonet group crawled into position, followed by the Molotov cocktail group. I took the 3rd Squad and automatic weapons to a position on the other side of the tank park, next to the pond. We had orders to shoot anybody running past our position who wasn't yelling, "Kill 'em!" With everyone in position and all set, the patrol struck and struck fast. Enemy guts and burned tanks all over the place. They never knew what hit them. When the patrol left the woods yelling, "Kill 'em!" I waited a few seconds and then opened with the automatic rifles to discourage anybody from following us. Then we ran like hell to catch up with the patrol at the rallying point. We reformed and moved out as fast and quietly as possible and returned to our lines by a different route. Don't let anybody kid you. Patrolling is a tough job, but it gets in your blood. You can't wait to go out again. And when you do, remember, all around security. Front, flanks, rear, and overhead. Always plan your action. Use common sense. Be thorough. Go slow when you have to. And come out fighting when the bell rings. Develop teamwork. That's what counts.